Hey y'all, it's your girl, the Mystic Mover, and I know it's been a long time since I've actually been present on YouTube. Life has lifed, and thank goodness I don't look like what I've actually been through, but I am back. And I really want to take this platform as a secondary place of the podcast information. The podcast that I host is called Soul Said So. And on Soul Said So, a lot of what I do is to inspire you to use and remember your God-given frequency. There are some things on the inside of you that can only be birthed if you allow them. And with Soul Said So, I used my platform to remind you of those things. Additionally, crownedvoicestudios.com is the main source because there you can get additional information. I do a spiritual diary where I talk openly about my process and how I'm shifting and how I'm also going through the same process. I'm no different. And I'm just very thorough, vulnerable about what's actually going on in my process. So as far as the podcast is concerned, every Wednesday at 11 a.m. on all places where you can stream podcast, you will be able to access different content. So boom. Today's podcast topic talked a lot about mistaking being unseen as unchosen. And I felt the need to talk about this because there will be a lot of moments in life where we know that we were called to do something and everything around us prevents or attempts to distract us from stepping into that realization. And like I said on the show, we have to understand that when you are dealing with a vision that was entrusted with you, a lot of people are not going to understand it. They're not going to be able to witness it and process and digest it on the same magnitude in which it was given to you. And that can be discouraging in a lot of ways because it's difficult being the forefront of something and having to be the leader to guide and instruct people on what it is that you're being called to do. And I felt that it was very important to encourage you to understand that even when people, things, situation, and opportunities leave you feeling unseen, that does not indicate that you're unchosen. To be chosen is to have possession over something regardless of who cheerleads you on, who validates you, and who understands. We have to stay firm in the purpose that we are being called to operate in. One, because the purpose that you're being called to operate in has nothing to do with you. It is deeper than you being the vessel. You are not being a vessel for the accolades of others. You are being a vessel to do the work in which you were created. That is a difficult thing to process and understand. However, it's a very necessary principle because if I'm doing what I need to do, what happens is I go forth in my purpose and process, not for my own sake, but for the people, the places, and ultimately the way that the world should operate and be created for healing purposes, and whatever other purpose that was planted on the inside of me can come forth through me. You can't stop your process and you can't shrink just because it seems like nobody else is understanding your purpose. It's not for them to understand. A lot of times we don't understand it. A lot of times we will be in situations where we are the vessel, not knowing day to day what that's going to look like for us, not knowing moment to moment what that's going to feel like for us. So there's a lot of different layers to being chosen. And unseen throughout that process is very important, because if you see something before it is meant to show up in your life, it can throw you off in so many different ways. It can cause distractions. And what those distractions ultimately do is they then they reroute the purpose. There's nothing wrong with purpose being rerouted. However, until purpose can take the form that it was intended to make, it'll consistently delay. And what I want you to remember is, even in this season, if you feel unseen in your own body, in your own process, I want you to reconsider that maybe being seen in this moment at this time because I desire it is not the best for the outcome of the purpose. You're being protected from things that could throw you off course. You're being structured, held, and incubated from things that can taint the process and taint the purpose. Remember that this purpose that you're walking in and the calling that you're honoring has nothing to do with you. You reap the rewards through your obedience. So in the moments where you feel low and you've made your walk with purpose about you, remind yourself that this really truly isn't about me. This is about whatever development that God is working behind the scenes that I may not understand, and that I don't really even need to understand, because I should feel honored that I was even chosen. And reminding myself that being chosen is a privilege. So use your privileges, friends. Use your privileges and understand that even when others can identify you, it is not for them to identify. That identifying you may very well be against their purpose. And sometimes, a lot of times, every stage of our walk is going to reveal something different. It's going to hide and it's going to reveal interchangeably. And we have to honor each stage, because every stage is important. So, enough of that. Go check out Soul Said So podcast today. It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to your podcast streams. Check me out. Leave comments. Let me know how you feel about the content. I look forward to doing more of these mini snippets in regards to whether it's my spiritual diary or if it is one of the episodes. But this has been lovely. You can find me on TikTok. That's where I've been hanging out. I'm going to be moving the platform over more. And you can also find me here on YouTube, of course. But outside of that, yeah, you'll be seeing more of me. But until our next conversation, talk to y'all later.